It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
And welcome back to the Real Estate Breakfast as we launch into another episode with more property data and information as we connect you to the largest real estate knowledge bank across Australia. We are doing that, of course, 7 days a week. And it is a Tuesday morning, May the 13th. Now, coming up, we're going to get that all-important information from Laura, who we spoke to yesterday. And boy, did she have a great story yesterday to tell us about her sustainable green cottage that she converted. And if you are doing any form of green conversion, and perhaps you've been told by a builder, by an architect, that, hey, what you're planning on doing, you can't do, Laura tells you what you should do in this instance.
Maybe talk to me because I can then point them in the right direction of the right people, because that's key to this kind of project. You need to find the people that are qualified, but also who will say to you, well, I'm not quite sure, but I'll give it a go. And, I respect your vision and your goals here, rather than just an outright no. So you want the people that will hustle with you. You want them to push and see where you can get to.
So how does somebody get in touch with you?
So you can go to my website. So just look for theimpossiblehouse.com, or you can get me on Instagram. So just look for the Impossible House tag there as well.
And Laura's website really does have a lot of great information, so go and check on that. And right now it is time to take you to Dubai, catch up with Mario Volpi. You've heard him before, although having said that, Mario, you're not in Dubai, you're in Italy.
That's right, Craig. Good morning to all the Australian listeners. I'm in sunny Sicily.
Oh, very nice. Nice to get around. Now, for people in Australia, it's hard to comprehend just how many of these towers in Dubai are going up. Now, for context, perhaps let the Aussies who have been dreaming about moving to Dubai, and let's face it, so many of the Aussies are making Dubai home. Can you give them this morning, Mario, a sense of developments that are in the works and are coming very shortly?
Yeah, so Craig, there are several upcoming towers that are set to change the skyline of Dubai. So let's just start with Al Habtoor Tower at 350 meters tall. It's located in Al Habtoor City. It's going to have 82 floors and is scheduled to complete in Q3 of next year. Now we're going to go on to the world's tallest hotel. This is called CL Tower. This is 15 meters tall. It's 365 meters with over 80 floors and more than 1,000 hotel rooms. This is actually scheduled to open later on this year. Murabba Vale is on the water canal. This is going to be around 380 meters high with 76 floors, and it's going to be one of the thinnest buildings at just 22.5 meters wide. Now we're going to go over 400 meters. This is Frank Muller Eternitas Tower at 450 meters in Dubai Marina. This is going to have 106 floors and it's scheduled to hand over sometime next year. If we stay in the marina, at 517 meters tall is the Six Senses Residences, having 122 floors with completion quoted as July 2028. Next is the Burj Bingati, which is the collaboration with Jacob & Co. This tower will have 103 floors and is going to soar above 595 meters tall. Staying with Bingati, we have the Burj Azizi, scheduled to be the second tallest tower at 725 meters high with 133 floors, and it's sure to break more Guinness World Records when finished, which is going to be scheduled for sometime in 2028.
Boy, oh boy, that is a lot of high-rises. Now, AI is dominating headlines right now, and it's starting to play a bigger role in real estate, but could AI ever eventually replace a human real estate agent? From the future of possibly an agent to an actual agent heading a brokerage company, Mario, what do you think?
Well, honestly, Craig, I don't think so. I mean, it's true that obviously AI can streamline property searches. You've got these algorithms that can analyze market trends and offer insights into pricing, fluctuations, locations, neighborhoods, etc. AI can also help with virtual viewings. They can allow the potential client to explore listings from the comfort of their home, which obviously is important for us here in Dubai, who attract global investors. But I think AI cannot give that personal touch that we also crave as human beings. You know, knowing the cultural differences of people and how to deal with them human to human, I don't think can ever be replaced by AI. I still believe that brokers play a vital role in these complex negotiations, especially for those buyers who are perhaps unfamiliar with local laws and customs. And of course, buying a property can sometimes involve emotions, especially for owner-occupiers. So we build relationships, but with AI, it just doesn't seem natural to me at all.
Well, I'm going to totally disagree with you there, Mario Volpi. I would say it's just a matter of time, because when the robots are so human-like, it is going to happen, because they're going to take over everything. The forecast is that we won't be working, because the future generations, there'll be these robots that will be doing everything for us. So you've said no, but I'm saying yes.
I mean, you might be right, but I still believe that AI, whilst it will enhance the efficiency and obviously the accuracy of real estate, the collaboration of what AI can do, coupled with what I believe is the irreplaceable human touch, is likely to be the norm. So sort of a mixture of the two. So hopefully this will create a more efficient, informed, but also empathetic market for both buyers and sellers alike, when both AI and the human agent kind of work together for the benefit of the client.
Yeah, the other thing too is emotions that you talk about. The robots in the future, they will display those sort of emotions. Lillian, I should sort of drag you in here. What do you think is going to happen? Like 2100, there's going to be so many of these robots walking around like humans.
I have to say, I'm sorry, I'm on Mario's side. I just think that human connection is so important. I think we're going to pull through, even just in terms of, this podcast. Like, I'd like to think that people listen to us because over the episodes, they've sort of developed this relationship with us. They could get the information from going on ChatGPT or online, but they like to hear our human voices and our opinions. I think that's really important.
I think this is probably the interesting one to think about. When the robots perfect standing up and looking like a human, you can compare that moment to the Ford Model T. Now, what I mean is, if you look at the early 1900s, there were about 21 million horses in the US and only 4,000 cars. But within a few years, that completely flipped. By 1912, cars had officially outnumbered horses. And the real game changer was the Ford Model T. In this conversation, the equivalent, AI. So when the Model T hit the market in 1908, cars became affordable for the average person. So the Model T definitely, I think, is going to be the equivalent of robots getting up and walking around and doing everything for us, including podcasts and being real estate agents.
Don't forget to subscribe. We have so many episodes, all designed to help you better understand the constantly evolving and dynamically changing real estate property market.
And right now it is time for another property tip. And recently we were talking to Simone there in Orange in New South Wales. And Simone, you've got a property tip for us this morning.
I do. So this tip is for all the investors out there. So if you're looking at purchasing a property, I always suggest getting a second opinion to check the rental figure that you're being quoted. So I offer an investor support service, which is really targeted for owners that are out of Orange, that helps to provide a little bit more of a detailed information and check the figures that you've been given, and also give you a little bit more of a background on the property. Because sometimes agents don't always disclose, all of the information, particularly about an area, or if there's any housing commission or, future developments planned. So it's always best to make sure you have all that information at your fingertips so you're making the best investment purchase.
Hang on, did you say that sometimes agents don't disclose things? I find that hard to believe.
Unfortunately, yes, it's one of those things that was really needing to get stamped out of the industry. I think, agents are there to help educate, and our job is to, educate, inform, so everyone can make the right, choices. That's what we're here for, to lead you along the way, not to just, sell the first property or any property that you go through.
Navigate the world of real estate like a pro, with expert insights, opinions and trends to up your game and knowledge when buying your next property.
I know that plenty of people will be interested to know this. How much did you pay for your cottage? How much has it cost you? And what is it worth now?
So I paid around $1 million for it, or I shouldn't say around, it was exactly on the dot in 2016. And then I've probably spent around $1 million on the build, and that includes, battery and the solar, plus the extra addition, an extra floor, which has given me a whole extra room, and then, the living room and the new kitchen and the laundry out the back. But it also includes, all of those water tanks, the water recycling system, all the pumps, etc. And the total cost for the water was around $30,000. The toilet was very expensive. That was $8,000, and I probably wouldn't recommend getting an $8,000 toilet. I chose it years ago and then didn't realise it was so expensive, and then had built the house around it. I'd probably choose a composting toilet in the future, where you can get for some of them, $500. And then the solar, that was expensive because it includes a battery. So if you don't want to go off grid and you just want to get the solar, then, the big ticket item there is the battery. And usually with solar, payback periods are, 3, 4, 5 years. So it's much more cost effective at this time without a battery. I know that there's a cost of living crisis. So there were also lots of other things that I wanted to do in the build that were, budget friendly. So I recycled as much as I could from the existing build, which meant those things were free. So I've got, cabinetry and bookshelves from the old build. I've got tables that I cut in half and used as, hallway tables or tables in my bedroom. And just as much as I could try to select furnishings that were reused and upcycled from eBay or from, antique shops up the road. So, there are some things that I think were very expensive and went over the budget of what I wanted to do to make it more accessible to people. And then other things I think are probably accessible if you're on a very, very tight budget.
Unlock the secrets of real estate and stay informed about the latest real estate buzz with hot market trends, emerging suburbs and hidden gems.
It amazes me how we fall for this sort of sugar hit is probably the best way to describe it, but we are all very guilty of getting caught up in these great sounding ideas from politicians. But has this stimulus affected housing prices and affordability?
Look, without question, giving money to people to get into the market doesn't address the underlying issue of increasing house prices. It's, as you said, a temporary stopgap to help people afford to get on the property ladder in the short term. But house prices just keep rising, which in turn forces governments, as we're seeing, to continue to increase more stimulus. And evidence of this is seen when you look at the stamp duty exemptions. So from 2017 to 2023, homes valued up to $650,000 were exempt from duty, with concessions for homes up to $800,000. In 2023, this exempt value rose to $800,000 with concessions up to $1 million.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.